What's up, everybody? It's your girl Q1, and I am back with Tyler Perry's Sisters, Season 10, Episode 3, with or without you. Before I start, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell button so you can be updated on every video I drop. Make sure y'all like the video so I can stay in the algorithm. Friday nights on my channel live, I will be, myself and my cousin will be doing our Healing Out Loud segment, episode 4. I have episodes 1 and 3 already up. You can look on a Healing Out Loud playlist, or you can just go into the live section and check out our previous episodes. Okay? Saturday morning, I will be live over on Mrs. Best's channel along with watching my reviews, and we will be reviewing Love After Lockup episode 2. However, I will have if I don't get to my episode of Love After Lockup on Friday, I will have my episode up Saturday morning. So I'll have it up early, like sometime Saturday morning before our live. All right. So let me just say this. Ayanla really needs to go around there to the Barnes family and get some stuff situated, okay? Because they need her, including that mama. Second, there will be no Cheyenne slander tonight, okay? Y'all, we gonna be praying for her, and we gonna put our arms around her, because there's some other people we need to knock the F out. One in particular on this episode, okay? We'll get there when we get there. But Cheyenne, child, I just felt so bad. I felt terrible for her. Like, anyway, I'm sorry, y'all, because I'm sorry. So the episode starts with Cheyenne being processed in jail. She calls Andy, and Andy was just like, what are you doing in jail? What happened? And Cheyenne tells Andy she was partying with some friends and she was locked up. And Andy was like, what happened? So she lets Andy know that she was being charged with lewd and lascivious conduct, which means she went skinny dipping and she was having schmecks in the pool. All right? So y'all know Andy is livid at this moment. Livid. So Andy agrees to come get her. She doesn't want Val to know, and she actually got a favor, so so she can get out of jail. And that was that on that. She went, So we get to Zach and Fatima. Zach tells Fatima about his future and how he wants little Taylors running around the house, how he wants to take care of Fatima, because she works and she's in school. So he really just want to give her what I would call a beautiful life. I'm not mad at that. So Zach wants to put in a bid on a gym that's actually for sale. He wants a team of people because I think he wants to eventually expand. And I actually think that this is a good idea. I think that they need to put Zach in that space because, on Zatima, we see him venturing in with the whole realtor or, situation. But we need to find him a space where he can hone in and have a business of his own in the sister sector. I've just tried to separate everything. Anyway, Fatima tells Zach that she doesn't trust Keys. And we pause on that point. All right. So we get to Danny. She's coming out of that grocery store and she's headed to her car, and Officer Green kind of bumps into her. He tells her, you haven't been returning my phone calls or my texts. And she was like, well, I have a lot going on. My friend is in the hospital. Then he realized she was talking about Sabrina. He was like, Hollins. And so she was like, well, how did you know? He said because I think he was there at the scene of the crime. And he was like, how's she doing? And she was, Danny was like, she's in a coma. All right. So he was like, immediately, do you want company? And Danny was like, no. And I cheated on my ex. What we did was a mistake. It can't happen anymore. And I don't want to see you no more. Get the fuck out of my face. Go. Just go. Okay. I still don't understand why they have Danny feeling bad for this whole Tony situation, because Tony just really needs to go. Like, at this point, I am going to say this. I am so happy that we get to see Krisha next week. But again, it comes at a price. We get to see Krisha because what's happening with Danny. So anyway, Officer Green won't let up, and he tells Danny, Danny tells him, she wanted to be alone, and the fact that her best friend has moved to another state, and her other best friend, her sister, is in a coma, and she may not make it through the night. She just don't want to be bothered. And apparently, so she gets in her car and she leaves. I guess he have little man syndrome, because he got mad. He took his groceries, dumped them in the trash. Like, sir, you know what's happening in this economy, and you throwing them good damn groceries out? You really gotta be touched. Anyway, I'm sorry. So, and he storms off like a child. And I told y'all last season, if you look at my reviews when we first saw him, I said, I don't trust him. I don't trust him. I don't trust him. I don't trust him. We get back to Zach and Fatima. Zach tells Fatima that he thinks Keys is a good dude, and he feels like Fatima is dealing with hormones and with the baby and all of the things. And she was like, I'm not. And she tells him, did you notice how he was all over Andy's mom, and how she thought that was weird? And Zach thinks that, they've already known each other. And yeah, so we'll see. I also just want to point out, I love how Zach has changed over time until we get to the sisters. I mean, if it's the Zatima sector, and we see, like, we really get into, like, really delve into Zach and why he is the way he is. So I just want to say, I appreciate the character development that is Zachary Taylor. Okay? All right. So Andy goes to the jail to visit Cheyenne. Andy have a conversation with Cheyenne about her behavior. Cheyenne tells her, are you here to lecture me, or are you here to bail me out? Girl, okay? That's all I'm going to say. Told y'all, no Cheyenne slander will be coming out of my lips tonight. So Andy she tells Cheyenne, listen, mama taught us better than that. She was like, you having schmecks in the pool, mama taught us better than that. So Cheyenne was like, how do you know what mama taught me? You left me. And she's so mad at Andy because Andy left and she's not mad because Andy left and went to college. She was mad because Andy never reached out or looked back. All right. So Andy said, hey, I went to college. And Cheyenne was like, but you never looked back. So she also tells Andy, you knew how it was before Marvin died. Who is Marvin? Is that the mama husband? Boyfriend? Y'all already know what I've been thinking. So anyway, Andy evades the response. And but she says she don't want to talk about it, by saying she didn't want to talk about it. Andy notices how high Cheyenne was because her pupils were dilating. Andy asks, is this what I am to look forward to? You getting into trouble and me bailing you out? And Cheyenne was like, well, you said this was going to be your first and last time. And I will say this. In my opinion, they both need intense therapy. There are clearly some emotional scars from their past, and that's what it seemed like, and that's what had, it seems as though that is what kept Cheyenne on this path. I'm telling y'all, this looks all the way like Madea's family reunion. Okay? Was it the family reunion? I don't know, but y'all know he got plays and some of them shows where the mama boyfriend did something to both of the girls. One girl made it, one girl went to. This is absolutely giving Madea's family reunion a play. Don't touch me, standing there looking like a bag of Skittles. That sister was on drugs, cause that boy had turned her out. Sound like that dude that called Cheyenne later on while she was in the tub. Okay, and then you see the other sister. I told you she was a bit of a pick-me, and she got picked up by who that was that played the. Anyway, yeah, this is what y'all know he loves to pull from his plays. That's what it sounds like. But what do I know? Okay, so I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying, just follow me. That's all I need y'all to do. I just need y'all to follow me. It does. It's starting to mirror Madea's family reunion of play. When Cora was the mom, Cora played the church. You know, we always got Cora playing. You know, the Christian mom. And while Cora was in church, that husband of hers was on the girls. Okay, but hopefully Dustin will give us more. Okay, this was, and I will say this wasn't a bad episode. This was actually a good episode because the people on this show are her team. Okay, so Maurice called Kelvin. That's not funny, y'all. The way Maurice is rolling in this somber, like acting, I'm just like, oh my God, Maurice, like what? Because when we see Maurice, we always, if you ever paid attention, anytime we see Maurice, kind of like when he called Pam, and you hear that kind of like that goofy background music, that is what we hear in the background when Maurice is always on screen with Sabrina. We're not getting that. We're just getting like that background sad type of, you know, instrumental tones or whatever, if I'm saying that right. Anyway, Maurice called Kelvin, and so before he could tell Kelvin what happened, Kelvin is just screaming and crying and cutting up and carrying on. Y'all know Kelvin loves Sabrina. So Maurice is trying to calm him down, and Maurice is just like really calm. And we all know Maurice, and we know he would have said, "Bitch, shut up." You know, like that's what we are used to seeing. And we get, Kelvin, I need you to calm down. I need you to calm down. And so he tells Kelvin, because Kelvin is still you can audibly hear him crying, or whomever it was. I ain't gonna lie, I thought that was Chandra Corelli on that other end. That's actually who that sounded like, but I'm just saying. So he tells Kelvin that Sabrina was in a bad accident, and Kelvin is still crying. He tells Kelvin, you know, she may or she may not make it through the night. But you know, I think he said he will be okay or she will be okay. I don't know. He's still crying, and he was like, Kelvin, I don't want to hang up, but I can't sit here and hear all of this crying because Maurice is not who we're used to. And I'm okay with seeing Maurice in a different version of Maurice. Now, again, the only time we saw that was with him and the whole Q situation, and when old boy, you know, beat him up, and he that hate crime on him in front of the bank. But Maurice he had to hang up the phone. Anyway, Val goes into the bathroom and oh no. Val comes out of the room as Cheyenne and Andy are walking through the elevators. And she was like, where are y'all coming from? And of course, they don't tell her. They just say, they didn't tell the full truth. Let me say that. Cheyenne was like, well, Andy had to pick me up from a party because I couldn't drive. And Andy was like, oh, well, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. So Val asked Cheyenne what happened. And again, Cheyenne tells half truth, not whole truth. She told a little bit of the story, but she didn't tell everything. So Val goes into Andy's room, and she was basically telling her, how she wanted her to help her sister, and she wants them to get along, and she's hoping that this would kind of make Cheyenne better in some ways. So Andy tells her mom that Cheyenne doesn't make it easy, and she says she can't handle Cheyenne right now because having Cheyenne here is such a huge distraction. And so Andy has this moment where she kind of lash out, but not so heavy. So she was like, I have to deal with my friend being gone, my other friend in a coma, my car being blown up, and now Cheyenne and bailing Cheyenne out of jail, which was a Freudian slip. It slipped out. I will say this. The fact that we have really skated over her being kidnapped and almost being unalive by Gary, ex-wife, and Hudson is crazy to me. We just really have to add that on the plate. But I really would like Dustin to write in Andy getting real life help. And where is homegirl? Marie. We ain't seen Marie in a month of Sundays, but whatever, it's fine. We hadn't seen Hayden either, which we don't need to see him. But anywho, moving forward. So Val immediately gets upset because she wanted to know what happened. And Andy lets Val know, hey, it's not my place to tell you. It's for her to tell you. And I wasn't trying to dime her out, but it did slip out. Andy tells Val, listen, either Cheyenne, she's gonna sink or swim. It's not your job to pull her out of anything or protect her and all of the things. She's either gonna sink or she's gonna swim. She didn't say that, but just me, verbatim. I mean, not verbatim, just kind of roundabout saying what Andy said. So then Val tells Andy Cheyenne needs a new beginning, and Andy asks why, and all of a sudden Val is like, oh my God, I'm so tired. So we are aware that Val, Andy, and Cheyenne, they cope somehow through avoidance. I feel like it all comes at a cost. Because that mama have secrets she don't want to release, that she hasn't disclosed or released, Cheyenne or Andy. And this is what we're talking about, family secrets. I think we're just talking about family secrets and whatever they have going on in their personal life. I would like to see that come out. I want to see that come out. So in the next scene, Maurice calls Pam. He can't sleep because he's thinking about Sabrina. And Pam was like, I just had a nightmare. She was like, he said, well, tell me what happened, because y'all know Maurice can't sleep, so he needs something. So she had a dream that one of Karen's clients wanted her to comb her hair out or something to that effect. And a lady was running behind her. Karen was sitting under the dryer laughing, feeding baby Fate. Meanwhile, Aaron is over on the other side baptizing somebody. But it all turns out that Pam is actually scared to open up the salon. Like, she's scared for what's going to happen because she's always been so used to Karen, and now she has to take the reins, and she kind of don't want to fail her. She want to make Karen proud, and Pam suggests that Maurice have an edible, because he can't sleep, and Maurice can't have an edible because his job is actually, the bank does drug testing weekly, and we got to get Maurice out of that bank into that salon. Okay, we got to find him. We got to give him a financial job or something in that salon. Anyway, in the next scene, we see Cheyenne. She's in a tub. We did not realize that Cheyenne is on that cocaine. Okay, just sniff it. And again, this is her coping. Just like Danny copes with those vapes. So she's listening to a voicemail from a man named Tank, who was actually looking for her. So he was like, he left, I think it was 3 messages. I went to your mom's house. I didn't see you. Where are you? It got to the third message was some sort of a threat. So he sounds like an abusive ex. And it seems like something may have happened to him. He may have went to jail for something, and she found a way to escape. I think the mama knew what was happening, and so I think the mom has helped her escape, which is why she said, she needs a new life. But I hope that they can disclose all of this information so it can all be put out there, and I would think Andy will want to know just so she can be protected. I'm pretty sure being with that abusive ex probably is the reason why she was on drugs. Hence, Medea's family reunion. When Cora told that daughter, you got with that man. She didn't say it like this, but I don't remember his stuff. And Tyler Perry. You got with the man and he got you strung out on drugs. Or we can even use we can use the other family reunion, Lisa and the one with the babies or whatever. Same thing. Where the mom had her husband rape her daughter. It's the same thing, y'all, but I really am thinking they're pulling from the plate. Anyway, I feel bad. I really feel bad for Cheyenne. And I was even on Twitter. In a way, everybody was going in on Cheyenne on Twitter. I was like, I know I was these first 2 episodes, but I think we got to give sister some grace. Okay, so I don't retract what I said from episodes 1 and 2, but I am not going to slander Miss Cheyenne. Okay, that lady needs help. Okay, y'all, we got to help our girl. Okay, so Danny is at home, kind of stress eating, and then we pan back to Valerie walking into the bathroom talking with Cheyenne. Valerie basically begged Cheyenne to listen to Andy and maybe things can change in her life. And I think it will, because we find out, in the synopsis, when they introduced her, she does hair, so I'm pretty sure she's going to be working at the salon. So I think things will change over time as the episodes progress. I think we just sometimes get in a rush to get there, but I get it. Anyway, Danny, back over at Danny, she's coping. Again, she's vaping and she's eating because she's stressed, and it's a lot. This is a lot. So she get a knock on the door. It's Officer Green. After she told him she didn't want to be bothered and told him, I don't want to be bothered with you anymore, basically, I feel like he's a stalker and he's a habitual line stepper and he's a dirty cop. That's how I feel. So she tells him to go home. Of course, he doesn't want to go home because he says no. Like, apparently he doesn't know what go home Roger means. So he decided he wanted to insert himself in her house and insert himself in her. Like, can we stab him? I just want to stab him. But what Officer Green don't realize, just as crazy as you are, Danny is a nut job. Okay? Remember, I forgot what season that was, when Homeboy tried to, yeah. Can we also get Danny to move? Can we move her somewhere else? Okay, we just need to move her somewhere else. Maybe we can move her in Andy's old apartment. Like, y'all need to add that back in y'all studio. Move her right there. Anyway, apparently, again, he don't like the word no, so he tried to grape her, and she beat the dog shit piss out of him with that cast iron skillet, and I wasn't mad at it. And eventually, he leaves. She falls on the floor and she starts to cry, and this is where the episode ended, because that's what he needed. Okay, so now I feel like he about to use all his cop, like he really about to play dirty as a cop, and I hope we can get rid of him. We can get him fired and get rid of him, and we don't want to see him anymore in the episodes. Okay, and take Tony with y'all. And it looks like we're gonna get the other lady in, and it seems as though she may be Rich's love interest, which is fine, I guess. I don't know, but we're gonna get this new lady in. Tunde is her real name. I want to say her name was Megan. I totally forgot what her name is on the show. But Tunde will be coming in next week. So yeah, y'all, I thought this was a good episode. Okay. So y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. Listen, shout out to y'all, because y'all been showing out in my views and in my comments, and I thank y'all so much and all of the things. All right, so anyway, this is your girl Q1, reminding you to keep showing up, keep growing, stay true to yourself, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.